Hey guys, this is 007 Nightfire here, and I'm giving a director's commentary to Toy Story Live Return Part 1. And I'm just going to be talking about the episode, decided just to do this just while on my free time. This was kind of, the title for this I think really worked first and foremost, because, what year was this when it came out? Like 2015, and the last episode was released, I think it was like the beginning of 2014. So it was almost about a year since I released Toy Story Live. And, just an appropriate episode for, the context of the episode where a new character comes in, or technically for Rex's case, returns back into his life. And of course, me returning with a new episode of Toy Story Live. Compared to like SANDGUARDIANS and Spectromorph, Toy Story Live takes a lot of work, at least with the writing. I think it's because, it's not really like a big story based. SANDGUARDIANS, I kind of think of it as like a 5-season kind of thing. Spectromorph, maybe a 3-season kind of thing. But Toy Story Live, it's all just, every episode has their self-contained story, so I think that's what makes it harder. And I kind of want to differentiate this one from the other two. This one's I guess a bit more lighthearted, and the characters are, I guess, more grounded, I would say, more down to earth, because they're living in the modern world. So it's kind of harder to write for this. And just coming up with stories and episodes, I have some in mind, but sometimes I don't really do them because is this like a really good idea for an episode? Like, do I know much about this topic that I can just talk about it for a while? I'm not really sure. So yeah, I know a lot of people like Toy Story Live. I'm really happy that it's got like so many views and people are actually watching and people are commenting, and I like the I really like my audience for Toy Story Live, so I'm gonna keep making them. I do like filming it; it's pretty fun. And I use, at least for this episode in part 2, I use an HD camcorder instead of the standard 4x3. And I have a phone that can shoot 1080p, but it's so hard to handle. It probably would be much shakier than this, because here I'm using a JVC Easy 10, which is just a standard camcorder, flip out point and shoot kind of camera. But it's still good. I don't really play. I can't with that camera. I can't really play, like, do a lot of tricks cinematography wise. I can do certain angles and stuff, but like focusing, it's on autofocus, of course. I can kind of zoom in and out, and it's kind of choppy. But I don't really worry. I really don't want to worry about the technical side of things unless the video shows that. Like, I'm doing film classes now in school, and there's a lot of people who have great cameras. They have DSLR cameras and they have equipment, but some of them, most of them actually, can't really tell a good story. They can just tell, really simple stories and things like that. And it's great to know, like, the technical side, like, cinematic language, but all in all, if you can't really tell a good, relatable story, or if you can't really tell an interesting story, then all that other stuff is just, there's no really point. There's no real point to it. So I feel that, even though I have crappy equipment, it makes me focus more on the content of the video instead of just like how it looks. And you can make a video look good, and even worse, you can fake it. But if the content's doesn't live up to how it looks, then people are gonna catch on and they're not gonna come back. I feel like with Toy Story Live, especially compared to my other series, people, and maybe RT Shorts too, people come back. And the reason, you can watch it once, maybe for SANDGUARDIANS and Spectromorph, I'm guessing that people watch it once and it's like, oh, that was pretty cool, but they don't really watch it again. And I feel, for like, of course, with Toy Story Live and RT shorts, you can come back to it because the stories are, interesting. At least I hope. And okay, so for the episode, of course, the episode, I introduced this character Yen, and I want to decide to have a female character. Uh, yeah, I know it's crazy. Female regular to I guess not really to increase my female audience because based on my analytics, I think a lot of I have a bigger female audience than male audience for Toy Story Live, which is pretty cool. It's kind of half and half, but the female kind of dominates a bit, which I really like. Whew, and sorry, I'm just like in a really cramped claustrophobic space. But anyway, I introduced Yen to bring in another sizable toy that maybe can make things a little interesting. And this whole story is based on a friendship that I had and lost while I was in high school, and it went bad in a pretty. We're friends now, or we're friends now, I would say, but we're not like we don't really talk often. We just like talk occasionally. Like you're saying you meet your grandparents or something, or you meet somebody that you see like maybe once a year. That's how it kind of is now, because like this person, this friend that I have, I'm not gonna say their names, but of course, but when I was in high school, like maybe my junior year in high school to my senior, like they became my one of my best friends within a span of 2 years. I felt like they were kind of a family member at first, but of course they were just a really close friend, and they were one of the few people that I could actually open up to. And yeah, that's how I kind of wanted this relationship with Rex and Yen to be. This person that you can really open up to and act for the first time, and actually like be myself around. And I started a relationship with this. Of course, it's a girl. I'm just gonna say it. I started a relationship with this girl, which was not a good idea, because we both, I think maybe we both weren't ready. I feel like I kind of rushed it, and it didn't last very long. And it was long term. It was during the summer. Not long term, long distance. Not really long distance. We both lived in the same city. But we neither of us had cars, so we couldn't really meet each other, and it just wasn't working. My mind wasn't right, and I just wasn't ready. I lost interest, and it really hurt me, because this close friend that I had, I just I didn't I didn't treat her. I don't think I treated her badly. Well, maybe I kind of did at least, but I don't know how it was. The fact of the matter is just that it didn't work out. We took this we took this friendship and we turned it into something more, but it didn't it shouldn't have been something more. It should have just stayed as a friendship because we weren't ready. I was insecure. I was prideful. It was bad. And I just want to relate this with this story. Where I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the way it ended. It's just I can't believe I hurt somebody that I genuinely did care about, and I just ruined not only this relationship, but I ruined this friendship. I can't talk to her like I can't talk to her like I can't talk to anybody like I talk to her, because I used to just, while we were dating, I used to just call her up and we would just talk. And I just opened up about all my problems and stuff, and she didn't always have answers, but it was just like this presence or this feeling about her. Just it's like she knew what I was talking about. She knew what I was talking about. She knew like she understood, like she could relate to that, even though she wasn't in my exact position, she could just relate to that. And I found that fascinating. And I've never met a person like that where I can talk to them and they know exactly the right answer. She didn't know all the right answers, but 99% of the time she always knew what to say. So that's I want to use this. This episode was partially a form of therapy for me, just to open up and just kind of tell this story with these characters. And hopefully, after this whole thing ends, Yen will become a regular. And another thing is about fear and how Rex and how I was, when we got into fights a lot. I mean, even when we were friends, because I think we kind of knew we liked each other, but we didn't make any moves, so we got into fights a lot. There would be months where we wouldn't talk to each other, and it's translated into this episode, I hope, with this story that Yen's telling. And Rex just didn't have the courage to just get up and just say sorry or just say how he felt or hurt her feelings. He didn't know what to do. And that's how I felt. I felt like when we started dating, I had to be somebody I wasn't. I had to feel like, oh, well, couples do this, so we should do this too, I guess. That's how I rushed things. I didn't know how to be in a relationship at all. It was just this whole new world to me. And that's how it was for Rex. And, he didn't really understand it, and he just kind of ran away from it because he was scared. And he thought he thought Yen wanted something more, but, he didn't know what she wanted, so he just ran. And right now, Yen just wants to be friends again, and Rex doesn't know, like, how I feel. I don't know, with a relationship like that, I don't know if I can go back to just being friends, because, I mean, you just need some time apart, and maybe what I'm thinking is you spend so much time apart that you can't really ever go back. It just doesn't feel right. All those emotions, all those negative emotions start just rushing back, and all those emotions just start coming all back, and it's not good. I don't like how it feels. So I wanted this story to just Rex confronting those emotions, and the way I'm planning to end it is, well, you'll see in part 3. I released part 2 at the time I'm recording this, so you can watch part 2. But I just want to introduce this character. I personally believe it's a memorable introduction. People won't forget it, but it could have been a bit more funnier. I really hope it doesn't come off as melodramatic, even though it probably would, or probably is. And come on, buddy. That's the whole story for me and the girl that Yen is based on, or this story is based on. I know I just kind of went to a whole rambling thing, but videos, the way I make videos is kind of like therapy, I guess. Get away from the real world. And I kind of like the fact that Rex wasn't this, because Rex is kind of inspired by another friend I had who was very innocent, or thought she was very innocent, but she didn't like to curse. She didn't like when people curse at her, and she even like, you couldn't even text her like LMAO or anything like that because you think you'd be cursing at her, which is not the case. And I wanted Rex to be kind of like uptight, and I want to show here that Rex has flaws, big flaws, and he's not a perfect person at all. But of course, nobody's a perfect person or a perfect toy. And I guess one thing I regret with this part is not really showing Rex and Yen talking in the past. Because you can show flashbacks of them, they're friends, and, Rex saying, oh, we were great friends, and you believing, oh, okay, they were great friends. But actually showing it and making you believe, okay, yeah, they really were great friends, I didn't convey it well here. And I'll see if I can do that in part 3. I have an idea of how I'll do that, so you'll just have to wait and see. Um, this video got a lot of good responses. Everybody thought it was emotional. I think it could have done a lot more action. That's one thing. I don't really like when my videos just a lot of talking and just them explaining exposition. I hate that. I do that a lot. I hate explaining all the time. I hate the fact that in my videos I always explain things. I want to show things. I want them to be there to be action in the scene, not like explosions or fighting or anything. But just the characters walking and talking or something like that, or things moving, not just everything so static. And I didn't want to also force the emotion there. I didn't want them to be sappy music or things like that. I just tried to make the dialogue as real and natural as possible as I could. And nothing too melodramatic, of course. And I also had to make a backstory between these two characters and what happened, and how Rex kind of did a selfish thing. But the reason he did that selfish thing was because he was trying to protect his own emotions, because he wasn't ready to be friends again, and he tried to get rid of Yen for good. And right now, Ren wasn't going to take that shit anymore. And I used the red lighting here, which just used in post-production, and it doesn't really look that great. Just to show danger, of course.
So you see? How could I say something like that to a friend? Jeez.
And that's pretty much the whole inspiration for the whole story of this episode. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it, I guess, insightful? I don't know. I hope you liked it, at least. And I hope you liked the camera work, how the camera's now in 1080p or 720p, I believe. Enjoy that. I like how Toy Story Live looks now that I'm using an HD camera. I feel like it's a series that definitely deserves it. And it was a good way to bring the series back. Like, oh, let's bring it back. How I bring things back, let's bring it back in a new format. So that's great. And basically this whole obstacle, I never liked doing cliche endings where it's going to end with, Rex and Yen being best friends again or rekindling their relationship. No, I want it to end with the characters are changed and they won't go back to the way they were. If that makes sense. So yeah, that's Return Part 1, and probably make a commentary for Part 2, so if you haven't watched Part 2, go and watch it. It's pretty good. See you guys.